let's talk about something most people feel but rarely speak up about openly.
So I see so many people who have jobs, even have girlfriends, boyfriends, have friends, and they feel so incredibly lonely.
In 1990, the number of men who said that they had 6 or more close friends was around about 55%. In 2020, that dropped to 21%. It's less than halved. Right? 21% of men say that they have less than 6 close friends. The number of men who say that they have 0 close friends has increased by 5-fold from 1990, and it's now at 15%. 15% of men say that they have 0 close friends.
Imagine that because you don't have a mate and you don't have any friends and you don't have a job and you don't do anything productive with your time, etc., that you're kind of a loser. And what does that mean? It means compared to other people, you're not doing very well. Hyper-competent people have their lives together on all those fronts and they're thriving in all those domains. And you are at the bottom of the hierarchy where everything has fallen apart and you're barely clinging to the edge of the world.
A 2023 Gallup poll found that 23% of people worldwide experience significant loneliness. In the US, about 60% of adults say that they feel lonely or isolated from those around them all or most of the time. But while loneliness affects people across all walks of life, there's one group that increasingly slips through the cracks: men.
Walking clubs are taking off, and it's not just the exercise.
You're connecting with someone, which is something that I was kind of missing.
More and more people are missing that connection and are feeling lonely.
The pandemic poured fuel on a fire that was already burning.
Dr. Vivek Murthy, the U.S. Surgeon General, says loneliness is an epidemic, the focus of an 80-page advisory he is releasing today.
Well, the month of May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy has issued a new advisory on loneliness as a health issue. In the report, Dr. Murthy warns that loneliness poses a health risk just as deadly as smoking. He calls it an epidemic. He spoke about it today on GMA3.
Our Eye on America tonight focuses on something felt by many, but discussed by few: loneliness. While 1 in 2 adults say they're lonely, men often have a tougher time dealing with what the Surgeon General now calls a national epidemic. Here's CBS's Mark Strassman.
Right now, many young men are quietly struggling with a level of isolation society doesn't like to talk about. A growing number are single, delaying marriage, or skipping relationships altogether. In fact, many men between the ages of 18 and 30 are more likely to be single now than any point in modern history. A big part of the problem is that the social infrastructure that once supported male connection is collapsing. Sports clubs, churches, bars, and other spaces where men used to casually meet and build bonds are disappearing. COVID-19 accelerated this breakdown, and now most socializing happens online. But scrolling through Reddit or gaming on Discord doesn't always translate to real connections. And then there's the weight of economic pressure. Young men today are facing high debt, job insecurity, and a cultural narrative that often paints them as either unachievers or threats. That's a lonely place to be, and many are internalizing it in silence. From a young age, boys are often told to man up, to hide their emotions, to be stoic, or to power through the pain. Vulnerability is seen as a weakness. So, when men struggle internally, many don't talk about it. They bury it until the weight becomes too much to carry. Men make up the vast majority of global suicide deaths, especially in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. Chronic illnesses take a physical and emotional toll. It raises stress levels, disturbs sleep, weakens the immune system, and fuels depression and anxiety. Yet, in a strange cultural twist, there has been a growing online conversation, even a trend around what some call sassy men. On platforms like TikTok and Instagram, women have began critiquing the ways some modern men express themselves, not with aggression and stoicism, but with wit, sarcasm, flamboyancy, or emotional openness.
Act like I don't even exist. Like, why do I have to always text you first and call you first? Like, why can't you start any conversation? Like, do you even want me? Like, what are you doing? I just be chilling. I really hate when you say that. Like, you really get me so tight with that. Like,
this is Sassy Man Apocalypse, so here's some things that I think make a man sassy as fuck. If you guys are arguing over text and he puts a period at the end of his sentence, that is real sassy. If he blocks you on Snapchat or Insta, it's already giving sassy. But now if he takes his time and he blocks you on Venmo, SoundCloud, Spotify, that man is suffering from sassy man syndrome. If he makes you drive, like, okay, passenger prince, it's a fashion motherfucker. Y'all are always so sassy. If he uses the eye roll emoji. Okay, diva. If he posts indirect stories about you, that is so sassy, especially if he puts music over it with lyrics that you can read.
True or false, in a heterosexual relationship, the man should always pay?
Yes.
Say it louder.
Yes, like, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm a modern girl, but that's my really for real only traditional value. Like, I just feel like we're in a sassy man apocalypse. Like, why don't y'all want to just pay for dinner? Like, is it that, like, men used to go to war. They used to cut grass. They used to build she sheds. Like, all y'all do is paint your nails and wear, like, earrings and shit. Like, my God, please, like, you don't want to pay for my Olive Garden? Like, this is what it's come to?
It's not even a tomahawk steak. It's Olive Garden.
It's Chili's. And Chili's is buzz. Like, what? Yes, a man should be paying for food. Yes.
Men used to be men.
Men used to be men, bro.
Put that on a t-shirt.
And it's like, no shade. My gay guy friends, they always pay for my dinner. Like, can we just bring back men? Like, it's an epidemic.
What's ironic is that this backlash comes after years of encouraging men to open up, to communicate better, to be in touch with their emotions. Now, some women are jokingly or seriously asking, did we go too far? Others are pointing out the double standard, saying women ask for more emotionally aware, expressive men, but now seem uncomfortable when that shows up in ways they didn't expect.
I'm so freaking sick of this whole sassy man apocalypse bullshit. Girls, were we not just the ones who collectively got together and we agreed, we're like, man, I cannot stand it when they're so fucking nonchalant. I can't stand it when they're not expressing themselves. It's like, oh, sex, oh, sports, oh, video games. And then you're like, okay, but like, how does anything in life make you feel? And they're just like, I don't know, man, I'm just trying to vibe. I thought we all agreed that we hated that shit, that we hated it. We were all like, we'd like to have a world where men have more like layers, where they could feel comfortable enough to talk about shit like sadness and longing and jealousy and just pain and in general. We're all saying that, we had all agreed on that. So tell me why recently this whole new trend is going on, and if a guy comes up to you and then he's just like, you know, I'm actually feeling really, really bad about that. That thing that happened the other day, like that made me feel really, you know, underappreciated, and I feel like I'm putting a lot of effort into this relationship and I feel like you're not doing as much or whatever. And instead of being like, oh my God, I am so sorry, I didn't realize, we're all like, oh my God, you're being so sassy right now. We will never be free. We will never be free. We will forever be locked in these chains. You guys do realize that in the ideal world where like there's like a lack of toxic masculinity, there are going to be a lot of men being pretty sassy all the damn time, right? Because there would be like no social stigma against the man just being like, I'm sad, I want to fucking cry. Yeah, that shit hurt my feelings. That would be normal. That would be normal in the ideal world. I did not know I would ever see the day where I would come on this app and defend men. You have me on here defending men. How are we ever going to have a world full of Allens if every time an Allen does as an Allen does and just expresses themselves, we're just like, ew, that kind of gave me the ick. At first, I thought sassy was like this new, still little internet way of being like, oh, like, he's being weird or he's being like annoying or whatever. But like, I was like, no. Sassy's supposed to mean he's being overly expressive of his emotions. I thought that's what you wanted. Was I wrong? Were we actually like, you know what, actually, that toxic masculinity shit, fucking with it. Like, were we actually there? And I was just back far behind, and I just didn't know, and I didn't catch up. Am I new here?
Sassy male apocalypse is really funny until we need to find husbands. Why are they behaving this way? I love Theo Von, and I was not expecting this episode. He had on Scott Galloway, who's an NYU marketing professor. He goes by Prof G. He also has a podcast. Prof G talked about the war on young people, basically young people doing really bad, and dropped some really crazy stats about the state of young men. Only 1 in 3 men under the age of 30 are in a relationship, whereas 2 in 3 women are in a relationship. How is this possible? Women are dating older. They want more economically and emotionally viable men. Remember that. We don't have a homelessness problem. We have a male homelessness problem. We don't have an opioid problem. We have a male opioid problem. 3 out of 4 homeless are men. 3 out of 4 addicts are men. 4 out of 5 suicides are men. Men are 12 more times likely to be incarcerated than women. He goes into social media and online dating, how particularly horrible it is for all of us, as we all know and experience. But in fact, it is particularly bad for men. If you have 50 men on Tinder and 50 women on Tinder, 46 of the women will give all of their attention to 4 men. On Tinder, a man of average attractiveness has to swipe 200 times to get 1 swipe back for coffee. And if the coffee date happens, 4 out of 5 of those said coffees will ghost him. The men who are rejected at that rate indulge in more misogynistic content online and pornography. He then talked about the previous election and this craving of masculinity in culture. He spoke about the way Trump aligned himself with Theo Von, Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, crypto, UFC. Basically, young people are fucked. For the first time in 275 years, a man or a woman at the age of 30 is not doing as well as their parents were at 30. This is particularly for young men. Women overall, though, are progressing much faster than they have previously in society. Men are falling short of that. And if your instinct reaction is to say, well, they had the head start and the system was built by them, that is true, except when I begin to think about my brothers or my future sons. And the reality, the current situation is men are not doing well. And who wants economically and emotionally viable men the most? Women.
It's a fascinating, messy predicament. One that highlights just how complicated and gendered our expectations around emotional expression really are. Unfortunately, it doesn't get easier with age. Middle-aged men often juggle work, marriage, parenting, and aging parents. This effectively causes them to be some of the loneliest people in our society. Many find their social lives shrinking as careers intensify and family obligations dominate. And if a divorce or job loss hits, the social isolation can be severe. Many men lose their core support system in mid-life. Male friendships, already harder to maintain than female ones, often fall apart. The pressure to be the provider can create a mental trap. If you're not doing well, you can feel like you're failing as a man, which just deepens the shame and withdrawal. In the absence of connection, many men turn to pornography as a form of relief. And while it might provide a quick hit of dopamine or escape, the research shows a terrible cycle. A study found that 36% of daily porn users report feeling lonely all or most of the time, compared to 20% of infrequent users. Porn can create unrealistic expectations about relationships, sex, and intimacy, making it harder to build healthy bonds and real partners. It also reinforces emotional avoidance, discouraging men from confronting the root of their loneliness. Over time, this creates a feedback loop, which is loneliness, porn, more isolation, deep shame, to even more porn. Now add in AI companionship. Apps like Replica, Anima, and influencer-based AIs like Carrion AI offer always available, non-judgmental, emotionally responsive digital partners. Some people talk to them daily, some fall in love with them, others spend hundreds of dollars per month for deeper intimacy.
It's really a mix of technologies. Most notably, it's like an app that you can download, and then it has, often it has an avatar, which is typically human-like, and you can customize them to your liking. You can make them, you can choose your skin color, you can make them male or female, you can give them different personalities, you can, make them more or less humorous. And then you can chat with them via text or with some of these even via audio and video chat.
And they can literally become a part of your everyday life in terms of conversations via various platforms.
If you let them, yes. So some of these products, like the one you're showing right now, Replica, are designed to be, highly, engaging and fostering users' attachment up to a point where some of them will, literally marry them and exchange wedding vows with them, introduce them to their families, swear loyalty and monogamy with them. But that's an extreme case, right? So in our study with 136 respondents, about half of the users, most of whom are from the US, followed by Australia and Germany, they see these technologies as a friend, as someone to talk to. During COVID, these technologies saw a huge uptake, and when users were a little isolated, it gave them a chance to talk to them. And now the biggest ones report like tens of millions of users, and from all walks of life. The median age is mid-30s male, so my age demographic, even though I'm not among the users. But it's typically friendship, romantic, erotic interaction, sometimes mental health counseling or other types of users.
But here's the catch. AI isn't real connection. AI can comfort, but it can't care. And that's what makes it risky. AI can simulate affection, but it's just code. Over time, some users start substituting real relationships for digital ones. Why deal with the complexity of human emotions when your chatbot always says the perfect thing? AI companions are programmed to be agreeable. Real people aren't. That disconnect can make real relationships feel frustrating or not good enough. Most AI companion apps offer emotional or sexual intimacy behind a paywall. The lonelier you are, the more you pay. In extreme cases, this becomes emotional addiction, where someone prefers their AI to their real life. If you spend hours each day with an AI that's tailored to you, your real-world social skills erode. Conflict resolution, empathy, reading cues all become harder. Some AI apps collect your data, including emotional and psychological information. That data can be used to market to you, influence your behavior, or worse. This isn't just emotional, it's societal. In most countries like the US, Canada, Japan, and most of Europe, birth rates are plummeting. The US hit a record low in 2023 with a total fertility rate of 1.6, far below the replacement rate of 2.1. One major factor is that fewer people, especially men, are forming long-term relationships. As loneliness rises, relationships decline. As relationships declines, families don't form, and that leaves societies with aging populations, shrinking workforces, and rising healthcare costs. Here's some good news. This crisis is very real, but it's not entirely hopeless. 1. We need to normalize emotional openness among men. Therapy, support groups, or even just honest conversation with friends can break the cycle of isolation. 2. We need to make more third spaces, sports clubs, volunteer orgs, maker spaces, and churches, a place where men can build friendships naturally. 3. Being a man shouldn't mean suffering in silence. We need to redefine strength to include vulnerability, connection, and emotional honesty. 4. Giving men the tools to build meaning and direction through mentorships, creativity, or contribution is one of the strongest antidotes to loneliness. 5. AI isn't inherently evil, but it must be approached with guardrails. Transparency, consent, privacy protection, and honest framing are essential. And finally, number 6. Governments can help by supporting mental health services, affordable housing, childcare access, and workplace flexibility, all of which make human connections more possible. If you're a man and you're feeling lonely, you're not broken and you're not alone. This world moves fast. It isolates us. It tells men to be strong by staying silent, but that silence is killing people, and it tears at the fabric of communities. AI can be a part of the future, but it can't replace real friendship, real community, and real love. You weren't made to do this all alone, and you don't have to.